Hey, what's going on, guys? Richie Figs here, back with another video, and today we're going to be trying something a little bit new. I want to make this a recurring series on the channel. We're going to be doing Throwback Thursday figure reviews. Now, this one is it is a throwback. This one goes all the way back to 2019, as it was a Comic-Con San Diego exclusive. We got the Ultra Street Fighter Player 2 Sagat. So, I mean, just to kind of give you the background on this figure, not cheap. Definitely not cheap. Definitely probably the most expensive figure I've ever bought and ever plan on spending on. But this one I had to have. As soon as I saw this figure in all its glory and its review, I mean, it doesn't get better on a Storm collectible than this one right here. To me, out of all the figures, out of all the Storm collectibles that I've owned, that I've seen, this one right here takes the cake. This one's the best of the best sculpt. They just nailed this character. I mean, I wasn't even really a Sagat guy, but this figure made me a Sagat guy. Now I'm Sagat guy number one for freaking Street Fighter now. So, I mean, that's how good this figure is, where a character that I didn't even use growing up, not really a fandom or nostalgia growing up, and this figure alone has turned me into, Sagat number one fan over here. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how rare this figure was either, as it does not pop up on eBay very often. I mean, and if it does, it's not new. I mean, you're looking at $200 plus for a pre-owned version of this guy, let alone I missed out. I got trigger shy. One thing, guys, just, I mean, if it's something this rare, you got to just go for it. I mean, the one that I was looking at was brand new, but it was like 320, and I was like, oh God, that's a lot. So, I mean, I just ended up not doing it. But this one was very good condition. On a 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 9.5. I'll show you any type of QC things or anything that came with it. But the box is still in pretty good condition. You can see here, does get the Comic-Con um, exclusive sticker up there, and then along with the special edition sticker. But you'll notice on the rest of the packaging, nothing about it else is player two. So he still has the blue shorts there. And then on the back, it is going to be the player one version, which I found odd because I think later on in their production, they did end up changing the colors to match the player two version. But as you can see, it does come with a total of 4 head sculpts. You got your stoic head, you got a gritting teeth head, you got a laughing head, and then you got your game over beat up face head. And then he does come with his special effect along with just different articulation and things like that. I think they do a pretty nice job on their presentation. And then just on the other side, the nice thing about these two is if you do want to put them on like a bookshelf or something like that, they do display well on the side so you can see what figure it is. So very, very cool. Like I said, this one was not cheap and definitely a grail of mine. So I had to at least make a video on it. And I tell you, you go back and look at the reviews for the Sagat figure, there's not many of them. I mean, there's a couple notable names. You got D Amazing, you've got Anthony's Customs, but other than that, there's really, I mean, of this particular figure, there's like 3. And then of Sagat in total as like his standard player one normal figure, there's like a total of maybe 9. And a couple of them are in foreign languages. So to get an English version of a review of this guy as just as the normal version, let alone the San Diego Comic-Con, it's just not easy coming. So what's one more review to help out people out there? Let's see what this guy's all about. I know what he's about, but I got to show what he's about. And I'll show you why he's so damn special. Taking a look at Sagat in all his glory, just immediately, just take it all in. Look at the sculpt of this thing. Like I said, to me, the best sculpt that they've ever done as a Storm collectible. It looks almost damn real life, like a real human, minus outside the articulation and the articulation spots and everything like that. I mean, look at that head sculpt. Look at the shadowing. Look at the way the muscular takes in those deep shadows. And just everything turned out so damn well on this figure. Like I said, it was a must-have for me. And again, not even being a Sagat nostalgia kind of guy, that's how good I thought this figure was, and it might be my favorite figure to date. Now, I did also buy a player one version of this, but I'm being a little bit of a baby because it is brand new sealed, and it's just hard to rip that new seal off, because it's an older figure as well. Like these came out like over 5 years ago, or 5 years ago, right around 5 or a little over 5. They're not easy to come by, and this particular figure is expensive. Even the player one version, forget the San Diego Comic Con, brand new sealed, again, right around that same 250, $300 mark. It's not cheap. So it's like, that's the one thing I also knock on Storm. They could clearly see, I mean, if they did any type of research on their figures, they have to know that they're sitting on gold mines if they ever did restocks for any of these. And that's what also I think hurts their business line as a whole. It's like, yeah, do you want to go get this M Bison? Oh, but you missed out on Sagat that came out 5 years ago and Guile that came out 3 or 4 years ago. And I mean, it's like you got to keep these guys in a rotation so people want to continue the line at the pace they're going. Obviously, people are going to miss figures throughout the way. There's new collectors coming every day, but it's like, come on, Storm. You got to do some restocks. I mean, if you want people to continue to invest in these figures, you got to be able to collect everybody. And right now, not everybody's got that deep of pockets, but I just wanted to show you immediately just that sculpt. Let's show you what else he comes with. Then here are the three extra heads. As you can see, he gets his laughing head, he gets the game over face, and then his gritting teeth. I mean, it's hard to pick a head on this one. If it wasn't so damn expensive, I would have definitely tripled up on this figure just because they're all so good. Like they all look so great to me and they look even better on the figure, but it's like you can't pick one. I sometimes have his arms folded with the laughing head. I can't say I've honestly put the game over face on him yet. I will for some figure photography coming up here in a little bit, but I definitely flip flop all the time between the laughing head, the gritting teeth, and then just his stoic head. Absolutely phenomenal. And then taking a look at the rest of his accessories here, you do get a stand for the effect piece. So you can obviously take apart these pegs and put them at really any type of height that you want for the flame effect that he's got here. And then this thing is absolutely crazy. I think Jada's are nice, but man, this one in particular from Storm, um, just the colors are so vibrant, and I like the translucency here. It just turned out really, really nice, nice and sharp too. Like it's sharp but not too sharp, but it's just got nice crisp cuts on it. And then you do get some extra hands. You get a total set of four hands. You are going to get kind of like a sprawled out hand. And I like to show the detail on these because they really get some cool weathering on the wrist tape and the hand tape. So you got that one there. You get a little bit more of like a kind of like a fighting stance, like tiger paw kind of hand, like that. Like I said, really good shading, really good wash on these. And then also just like a karate style chop hand. And these just turned out really well. Even the all the way down to the finger wrinkles and the knuckles and stuff like that is absolutely crazy. And like I said, the wash, the detail on the tape just turned out. I mean, I don't have to say much more. Then looking at the articulation for Sagat, he does go down. Head is going to go down that much. So he's going to be able to look down at a Ryu or any type of smaller opponent. Let's face it, all his opponents are going to be smaller unless he's going up against T-Hawk. It does not get the best range going up. In fact, if you pull it up too high, his head does pop off. It is a well-known kind of I don't want to say QC issue, but the ball peg is not very high here. In fact, I can even take it off. You can see it's barely just coming out above the neck, but it does not leave much room to look up. But what the hell is he going to be looking up at? I mean, nobody's taller than him other than one other guy on the roster, so we really don't have to worry about that too much. But he does get some nice head tilt. I mean, that pose right there, you get some cool head poses like that where he's got kind of that Michael Myers tilt. I always refer to that just because that's like the one guy I can think of that really tilts his head like that. But just any poses like that are just absolutely crazy. And with the shadowing that hits, it just hits real nice. And then as far as the articulation, his arms are going to go up in a T about that far. Looking good there. And then as far as the arm articulation, this thing does too. This little piece right here, you got to be careful to make sure it hits the gaps right, or you could like it does move quite easily. So with the storm figures, they have these little shoulder pieces that you got to make sure that you get them just right so that it's not too much gapping showing. But then as far as the arm articulation, you are going to get a bicep swivel. So looking good there. And then he does get a double jointed elbow, but does not, because his arms are so massive, it doesn't go up too crazy, but enough to strike a sick pose. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that. The shadows and everything. It just looks amazing. And then as far as the waist, you got to be careful with the head. Like I said, when you move this, it kind of pushes the ball hinge up on the head. So that's what's going on there. And then as far as him leaning back, does get a little bit gappy, but does lean back quite a bit. So that's pretty nice there. And then as far as leaning forward, like I said, you got to be careful with that because it does knock the head up. But let's see if we can fix that. And then he does get to lean forward that way, but you do want to hold on to the head while you're doing it because any type of pressing on this pushes up on the plastic here and knocks the head off. But very cool. As you can see, you can get a nice hunch. Looking great there. And then as far as the leg see, man, the head, that's one of the known things. I think on the player one version, it is a little bit of a bigger ball peg. Believe it or not, I think this was actually came out before the player one. Um, I think this was the first figure they released of Sagat, and then the player one came shortly after the con. So I do think they added a little bit, or from every review I've seen, the ball peg is a little bit bigger on the player one, so it's not that big of an issue on the player one. And then as far as the legs, got to be careful. Don't want he doesn't get like the greatest range, but he does get a range. You'd like to see a little bit more. Let me see if I can. Let's see. As far as the range, he's going to get about that far as the split. So not a full split. I don't want to go too far because then you start getting some creasing on the paint here. So I don't want to scratch it or anything. As you can see, the only thing I really saw QC wise is there's some little paint dots right there. I mean, it's minor, and I've noticed particularly in the crotch areas where you're going to start seeing chipping on this paint. So if you do ever consider picking this guy up, you'll want to pay close attention. Unless it's sealed in package, you'll want to pay attention. I noticed the paint on the shorts in particular does start to get a little chippy and starts falling off. So you got to be really careful. And if you are going to pick up something like this with really any Storm figure, make sure that the paint QC is looking okay. And then he does get the double jointed knees where it is going to go up about there. And then as far as going up, he does get a nice range going up. So he does get up that high, pretty good there. And then does get a nice ankle rocker to get about that far there. So absolutely killer. And then just like I said, he's kind of a big guy, kind of almost reminds me of a bigger, bulkier, meaner, kind of black belt, like a Frankenstein type character. Like hunches over just a little bit, and then you just get that mean mug look. But absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, you take a look at the back too. You got to be careful with this too when you're moving, because the back does get gappy. It's got that soft plastic here, so any type of movement, you'll notice to see a gap. But unless you were doing something where you were taking an exclusive picture of his back, then it's really not too big of a worry, and it doesn't bother me at all. So other than that, I mean, just you get him on a nice little hunch there, and I mean, just go ahead and take a look, folks. You can go ahead and take a look. Let's get in there real close. I mean, just like I said, look at that. Absolutely crazy how great that figure turned out. And look at the scar. Look at the vein texture on the arms too. Like look at the wrist tape that he's got there. The vein, the abdominals, everything just turned out crazy on this figure. Absolutely crazy. Just a couple size comparisons here. We got him next to the recently released BLANKA Street Fighter 2 Ultra. And as you can see, he's towering over him just the way he should be. BLANKA, I believe, is 6'4", and Sagat is listed at 7'4", so about a foot taller, and you can see that. Here he is standing next to the Street Fighter 5 Storm Collectibles and BISON, and as you can see, two head honchos. They look great standing next to each other, and the size, like I said, I can't think of another figure that is as tall as this Sagat outside of maybe Goro, I think is a little bit taller. And then also that new T-Hawk, once he comes, he should stand taller. But you can just see size and power. And, I mean, you put him next to anybody and he's going to be intimidating. For the last comparison here, of course, I had to do a couple Jada Toy Street Fighter figures, as the biggest figure I have from Jada right now, outside of BLANKA and Sagat, which I haven't received yet, is going to be Guile. So you can see how it goes up to his elbows, and then poor Ryu's not even meeting his chest, which I think in the game, like, and in traditional scaling, like if it were a normal scale Sagat, he should be up to at least about his chest. I don't think Sagat should be able to eat Ryu at this size, but yeah, as you can see, I mean, he's just a towering figure, but still cool to put him next to him, and you can kind of make it work. And I am a firm believer in that you can make no, regardless of the scaling of different figures, you can always make it work in a photo. And this right here proves that. I mean, it's just a little bit of depth perception. So to me, it's like, yes, you obviously want it'd be nice. You can do more things if they're on the same scaling, but you can make this work. And I wish I could say I was the originator of this type of posing, but I've seen this done on Instagram plenty of times. And I mean, this photo right here is one of my favorites to do. As Ryu looks on to the Sagat, who's just laughing at what he sees in front of him. And like I said, you can always make it work. As I gotta find a way to use this game over face somehow. That is going to be my review on the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Player 2 version of Sagat from Storm Collectibles, and it's an amazing figure. I mean, if there ever was a 10 out of 10 figure for me, it would definitely be this one. As of right now, it is my favorite in my entire collection. And I have hundreds of figures. I know I don't show them off all the time, but I do. I have hundreds of figures. And the only real downside and con to this is that I guess one, the ball peg on the head for the neck is a little bit small. So if you do move the chest around, it does tend to knock off that head. And then the other thing is really just going to be the price. It's just not accessible. I mean, like I said, it hardly ever shows up on eBay. And if it does, you're going to get a pre-owned. Very rarely will you ever find mint sealed in package. And if you are, you're looking at $300 plus price tag. Even for a pre-owned, he is well over the $200 range, where this figure on Big Bad Toy Store, you can actually still find the ad was $90. $90 for this is absolutely insane. What a steal. Oh man, I would have bought, like I said, about 3 or 4 of these just so I could display all the different heads. I like the figure this much. So I don't know. I don't expect anybody's going to go out there and spend that kind of money, but I can just hope that Storm Collectibles realizes that they have a gold mine sitting on some of these re-releases for some of the old Street Fighter figures, and they eventually do. I don't expect that they'll do the San Diego Comic-Con one, but at least the Player 1 version, and let's get a Guile and another Ken, and I know they did a Ken and Ryu 2-pack as a re-release, but you got to get these figures out there, because it's like, who wants to keep collecting the line that you're taking forever on if you can't get the older figures at a decent price? So I think it would be wise for Storm to start re-releasing some of these older figures, and everyone can start to enjoy them, because if you can get any version of this, regardless whether it's the San Diego Comic-Con, I do like the San Diego Comic-Con version more just because I do like the sail shorts, the sail white shorts, and the darker tan. That's really the main difference that you're going to notice between the two, is that he is a little more pale in the skin on the Player 1, and then obviously he's got the blue instead of the white sail shorts. But, I mean, regardless, if you can get one, that's all you need, man. And it's absolutely phenomenal. My favorite figure in my collection right now. I had to do the review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you on the next Throwback Thursday. And Richie Figs, later.
9, 8, 7,